In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can install multiple operating systems on one computer, one disk. Everything will be step by step. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how you can install multiple operating systems on a single disk computer. Right now, I already have Windows 11 installed where I'm going to install Linux Mint alongside, creating a perfect dual boot system. So the goal of this video is by the end of this video, you will be able to switch between Windows 11 and Linux Mint anytime you want without losing the data. Step number 1, prepare your system. So first of all, you're going to make sure you have all your important data saved into a USB or somewhere in the cloud. In case if we do something wrong, or in case if you do something wrong, so you still have your important data. I'm just being a little cautious about it. Okay, and the second thing is going to be shrinking the disk. So let's do that. Let me show you first disk mgmt.msc. You have to make sure you have enough disk space. Like you can see on my C drive, I have 70 GB free, but it's a virtual machine. So I think I'm fine. I can increase the disk size anytime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same disk and I'm going to shrink this C drive so I can get some free space where I can install Linux Mint. Okay, it's showing me 71 GB, 73,000 MBs can be shrink, but I only want like 30 GB. So what I'm gonna do is I'll change 7 to 3 and I'll just add 1. So it will be somewhere around 29 GB or something. Well, let's see after shrinking. So you can see it's 30 GB and it's unallocated. So you have to just leave it unallocated and then close this one. So we are done with the system preparation. So one thing which is recommended, again, it is not like necessary thing, but it's recommended by me. If you do anything wrong, you should have at least your data backup somewhere. All right. So step number 1 is completed. Let's move to step number 2. So in step number 2, we're going to download the Linux Mint ISO first, and then we will make a bootable USB using Rufus or Ventoy, and then we will insert that USB into the computer and boot from the USB. So to download Linux Mint, I will go to the Linux Mint website, official website, and then I'm going to click on download the latest version 22.1, and we have Mate edition, we have XFCE edition, but I like Cinnamon edition, so I'm just going to download this one, and it will show me like multiple locations to download. I'm gonna just choose random from USA, and it will start downloading. So you can see it's downloading. I have inserted the Ventoy disk with Linux Mint ISO, and if you guys want to know what is a Ventoy, you can click on the link above on I button, and you will be redirected to Ventoy video where I explained how you can have a multiple bootable USB. And then for now, I'm going to restart my computer to load into Linux Mint environment. Okay, I restarted my PC and you can see I am in the GRUB menu of Linux Mint. So I'm just going to tap on Start Linux Mint 2201 Cinnamon 64-bit. And it will load all the services, which will take like a few minutes. All right, so this is the Linux Mint test environment you can see. And if you want to test out a few things, you can do that. You will be already logged in as root or Mint user. You can like try multiple commands to check if it's working fine on your computer, like apt update or apt update upgrade, stuff like that, apt install, anything you want, network. And if you're installing this on your laptop, you can try Wi-Fi and other stuff as well. So like you can try everything what you do on your operating system. So this is just the trial version. Like there will be nothing saved on your computer, so it's just running on your RAM. And if you want to install this on your disk, you will need to click on this install Linux Mint. Double click on that, and then it will show you the installer window. Okay, so the first thing it's going to ask you is the language, which is, I guess, same on all operating system installations, and then the keyboard layout. So I just don't even read it and I click continue, continue on the first two parts. And then it's going to ask you install multimedia codec. If you click yes, then it's going to ask you to configure secure boot if you want to. But since it's a test, I'm just leaving it unchecked. But if you want, if you're installing it on your computer or your laptop, make sure you install multimedia codecs. And for secure boot, it's up to you. You can keep it checked and set a password, or otherwise just leave it as it is. Okay, so now you have two options. I'm going to show you the difficult option, not the easy one. The easy one is to install Linux Mint alongside with Windows Boot Manager. So it's going to be like you will keep everything on your Windows, and alongside you will have Linux Mint installed. But I'm going to click on something else. So that way you can learn how the partitioning system will work. Like if you want to add more than two operating systems, then what? Then definitely you can't just click on install alongside, because it will definitely mess up all the file systems. So that's why we shrink the volume and other stuff. So I'm just going to click on something else, and I would like you to do that as well, because if you're going to install a third operating system, you can do using the same method. Okay, and here we should be able to see the free space what we shrink from the Windows disk management. You can see the free space here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to create a EFI partition. So make sure you select EFI system partition and then set the space to 300, which is like good enough for two operating systems. But if you have like three, then you can set 500 and then click on OK. So it's just one time. Once you have created EFI partition, you can use this for multiple Linux operating system. Whenever you're going to install a new operating system, just click on that one and select the partitioning type. Like in the next video, we will install another operating system on the same system, which will be Arch Linux. And I'll show you how we can have three operating systems as well. Okay, so we have now EFI partition, and then the rest of partition I'm going to use for, I'm going to set this to slash, which means the root partition, and it should be ext4, which is the latest file system for Linux systems. And then I'm going to assign all of the space. So now you can see we have EFI disk and we have root disk. Okay, so now I'm going to click on next, and it's going to show me the two disks, disk number 5, which is going to be the ESP, like EFI disk partition, and the sixth one is for ext4, which is going to be for the root. Okay, then I'm going to click on continue and then install. And then it's going to ask for the time zone. What I'm going to select is Los Angeles time, because I'm in Pacific zone. I can select Vancouver as well, but I think this one is fine, Los Angeles. And then you're going to set up name and other information. Okay, and then you can click on login automatically if you're the only person on your computer. So it will not ask you for the password anytime you go to the Linux Mint. Otherwise, you can set require my password to log in every time and encrypt the home folder. If you want to, you can set that as well. But I'm just going to leave it, let's say, require login passwords. I'm just going to click on continue, and then it will start installation. So there is a possibility for the first time it will not show me to select from Windows or Linux Mint. So that's something I really want to show you. So just stick with me in this video. All right, Linux Mint is installed, and you can do continue testing if you want to test something more, or just click on restart now. So once you restart it, it should load into the Linux Mint operating system. I'm not gonna pause the video recording so I can show, and it's asking me to remove the installation media. So you just need to unplug the USB so it won't boot directly into the USB again. So let me do that. All right, I have unplugged the USB, and I'm not pausing the video recording so you can see how it goes. So now you can see it's showing me the grub boot menu, and it's a very good thing. Like I can see Windows as well, but sometimes if it's not showing you a Windows boot manager, you just see Linux Mint and advanced options for Linux Mint and UEFI firmware settings. Then what you need to do is go to directly Linux Mint, and I'm going to give you just one command to do that. Okay, so in your Linux Mint or any other Linux environment, you just do sudo grub update. Sorry, it's update grub, and then the password for your user, and then it will show you grub has been updated, and you will even see the entry it has added. So it says found Windows boot manager. If I do reboot, I should be able to switch in between Linux Mint and Windows 11, what we already have, what I showed you in the start of this video. So if I tap on Windows 11, it should load into Windows 11 as well. Okay, so as I told you, now you can see both operating system Linux Mint 22 and Windows Boot Manager as well, and be installed without losing anything. So that's how you install another operating system, and in the next video I'll show you how we can install the third operating system and as well. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.